Preface. Having it all. Have you ever admired those successful people who seem to have it all? You see them chatting confidently at business meetings, comfortably at social parties. They're the ones with the best jobs, the nicest spouses, the coolest friends, the biggest bank accounts, the most fashionable postcodes. But wait a minute. A lot of them aren't cleverer than you. They're not more educated than you. They're not even better looking. So what is it? Some people suspect they inherited it. Others say they married it, or were just plain lucky. Tell them to think again. What it boils down to is their more skillful way of dealing with fellow human beings. You see, nobody gets to the top alone. Over the years, people who seem to have it all have captured the hearts and conquered the minds of hundreds of others who helped boost them, rung by rung, to the top of whatever corporate or social ladder they chose. Wannabes wandering around at the foot of the ladder often gaze up and complain that the big boys and big girls at the top are snobs. When big players don't give them their friendship, love, or business, they call them cliquish or accuse them of belonging to an old boy network. Some grumble they hit their heads against a glass ceiling. The complaining little leaguers never realize the rejection was their own fault. They'll never know they blew the affair, the friendship, or the deal due to their own communications fumbles. Why don't they see it? Because some of the moves big winners make are so smooth, so subtle, it takes another big winner to recognize them. The old boys, in the days when top management was, unfortunately, mainly old boys, complimented each other by saying, "Buddy, you ain't no accident." They bestowed this slang tribute with a tinge of jealousy when one old boy saw some sensitive act the other had executed. Indeed, today, the old and not so old boys and girls who run our country, our corporations, and our arts ain't no accident. Each has a bag of tricks, a magic, a Midas touch that turns everything they do into success. What's in their bag of tricks? You'll find a lot of things. There's a substance that solidifies friendships, a wizardry that wins minds, and a magic that makes people fall in love with them. There's also a quality that makes bosses hire and then promote, a characteristic that keeps clients coming back, and an asset that makes customers buy from them and not the competition. We all have a few of those tricks in our bags, some more than others. Those with a whole lot of them are big winners in life. How to Talk to Anyone gives you 92 of these little tricks used by big winners so you, too, can play the game to perfection and get whatever you want in life. Part 1. You only have 10 seconds to show you're a somebody. In the fast-paced world we live in, first impressions are crucial. Research suggests that within the first 10 seconds of meeting someone, people form lasting judgments about us. This initial impression can influence our relationships, careers, and social interactions. Part 1 of How to Talk to Anyone by Leil Lowndes focuses on mastering the art of making a powerful and positive first impression in just 10 seconds. Here are the 9 techniques that will help you achieve that. 1. The flooding smile. Summary. Don't flash an immediate smile when greeting someone. Instead, look at the person's face for a moment, pause, and then let a big, warm, responsive smile flood over your face. This split-second delay convinces people that your smile is genuine and just for them. Example. Imagine you're meeting a new colleague at work. Instead of immediately smiling when you see them, take a second to absorb their presence, then give a warm, slow smile. This makes them feel valued and acknowledged. 2. Sticky eyes. Summary. When you are speaking with someone, make and maintain strong eye contact to convey deep interest and respect. Don't break eye contact immediately after they finish speaking. Let your gaze linger for a moment. Example. During a job interview, maintain eye contact with the interviewer. Even after they finish asking a question, keep your gaze for a moment before responding. This shows you are engaged and interested in what they have to say. 3. Epoxy eyes. Summary. Use this technique in group settings. Focus your gaze on the person you want to impact, even when someone else is speaking. This makes the person feel important and noticed. Example. At a team meeting, while someone else is presenting, occasionally glance at your manager to gauge their reactions. This shows your interest in their perspective and makes them feel that their opinion is important to you. 4. Hang by your teeth. Summary. Improve your posture by imagining a leather bit hanging from the door frame. Bite onto it and let it lift you up, aligning your body perfectly as if you're being pulled up by your teeth. This gives you a confident and upright posture. Example: before entering a room for a presentation, visualize the bit and straighten your posture. This not only helps you appear more confident, but also boosts your own self-confidence. 5. The Big Baby Pivot Summary. When greeting someone, give them your full body turn. Pivot your body entirely towards them, making them feel like they have your undivided attention. Example: at a networking event, when someone approaches you, turn your whole body towards them instead of just your head. This shows you are fully engaged and interested in what they have to say. 6. Hello, old friend summary. When meeting someone new, greet them with the same warmth and enthusiasm you would show to an old friend. This creates an immediate connection and puts the other person at ease. Example: imagine you're meeting a client for the first time. Approach them with a warm smile and a firm handshake, saying something like, "It's so great to finally meet you." This helps to break the ice and build rapport quickly. 7. Limit the fidget summary. Avoid fidgeting during conversations. Keep your movements calm and controlled to appear more composed and confident. Example: during a meeting, resist the urge to tap your pen or shuffle papers. Instead, keep your hands still and focus on maintaining a calm demeanor. This helps you come across as more professional and attentive. 8. Hans's Horse Sense Summary. This technique involves observing the behavior and body language of others to understand their unspoken thoughts and feelings. By tuning into these subtle cues, you can better navigate social interactions. Example: at a family gathering, notice how different family members interact. If someone seems withdrawn, approach them with a gentle conversation starter. This shows you are attentive and empathetic to others' emotions. 9. Watch the scene. Before you make the scene. Summary: before diving into a social situation, take a moment to observe the dynamics and adjust your approach accordingly. This helps you to blend in more seamlessly and make a better impression. Example: arrive at a party a bit early and watch how people interact. Notice who the key players are and how people are grouped. When you join the conversation, you'll have a better understanding of how to engage effectively. For instance, if you notice a small group laughing and having fun, approach them with a lighthearted comment related to their conversation, ensuring a smoother entry into the social scene. Part 2. What do I say after I say hello? So, you've nailed that first impression with those killer techniques from Part 1. But what comes next? You've got their attention, but now you need to keep it. This is where the magic of small talk comes in, those little conversations that can make a big impact. In Part 2 of How to Talk to Anyone, we're diving into the art of keeping the conversation flowing smoothly and making those interactions truly memorable. Let's break it down into techniques 10 through 23 that will help you shine in any conversation. 10. The mood match. You know how some people just seem to click instantly? One secret is matching the other person's mood. If they're pumped up, you show excitement too. If they're calm, you dial it down a bit. This technique helps you connect on an emotional level. To give you an idea, imagine you're meeting someone who's just had a big win at work. You can match their excitement by saying, "That's fantastic, tell me more about it." It shows you're genuinely interested and on the same wavelength. 11. Prosaic with passion. Even the most mundane topics can be interesting if you talk about them with passion. Your enthusiasm can make the conversation lively and engaging. For instance, instead of just talking about the weather, say something like, "I love how the rain makes everything smell so fresh and clean. It's like nature's way of hitting the refresh button." Your passion makes even the simplest topic exciting. 12. Always wear a what's it. Wear or carry something unique or interesting that can serve as a conversation starter. It's an effortless way to break the ice. Here's how it works. You wear a colorful scarf with an interesting pattern to a conference. Someone compliments you on it, and you share the story of where you got it, seamlessly starting a conversation. 13. Woo's at? When you meet someone new, use their name in the conversation right away. It helps you remember their name and makes the interaction feel personal. For example, at a business mixer, you're introduced to Sarah. You respond with, "Hi Sarah, it's great to meet you. How do you know our host?" This not only helps you remember her name, but also engages her in the conversation. 14. Eavesdrop in. Listen in on nearby conversations and use something you hear as a bridge to join the conversation naturally. Do this respectfully and smoothly. Just like this. You're at a coffee shop and overhear a discussion about a recent movie. When there's a natural break, you say, "I couldn't help but overhear you talking about the new Marvel movie. I just saw it last week. What did you think of the ending?" This smoothly integrates you into the conversation. 15. Never the naked city. Don't just drop a topic name without context. Always add some interesting information or a personal touch to make it more engaging. For example, instead of just saying, "I went to Paris last summer," say, "I went to Paris last summer and had the most amazing croissants at a little bakery near the Eiffel Tower." Adding detail makes the story more captivating. 16. Never the naked job. When someone asks what you do, don't just state your job title. Add a brief, interesting description that invites further conversation. Like this. At a networking event, when asked what you do, instead of saying, "I'm a lawyer," respond with, "I'm a lawyer specializing in intellectual property, helping creative people protect their inventions and ideas." This sparks curiosity and further questions. 17. Never the naked introduction. When introducing people to each other, provide a bit of context about each person. This helps spark conversation and makes the introduction more meaningful. Try this. At a party, you introduce two friends by saying, "Mark, this is Lisa. She's an incredible chef and just opened her own restaurant downtown. Lisa, Mark is a tech entrepreneur with a passion for innovative startups." This context helps them connect more easily. 18. Be a word detective. Listen carefully to the words people use and look for clues about their interests and passions. Use these clues to steer the conversation towards topics they enjoy. For instance, during a meeting, a colleague casually mentions they're a big fan of jazz music. Later, you ask them about their favorite jazz musicians or recommend a local jazz club, showing that you've paid attention and are interested in their hobbies. 19. The swiveling spotlight. Turn the spotlight onto the other person by asking open-ended questions and showing genuine interest in their answers. This makes them feel valued and important. For example, instead of just asking, "How are you?" ask, "What exciting projects are you working on these days?" This encourages them to share more and feel appreciated. 20. Parroting, repeat a few key words from the other person's last sentence. This shows you're listening and encourages them to elaborate on their thoughts. Like this. If someone says, "I recently started learning Spanish," you could respond with, "Learning Spanish? That's great. How are you finding it so far?" This invites them to share more about their experience. 21. Encore. When someone tells you something interesting, ask them to tell you more. This shows genuine interest and keeps the conversation going. For instance, if someone says they just returned from a trip to Italy, you could say, "That sounds amazing. What was your favorite part of the trip?" This encourages them to continue sharing their experiences. 22. Accentuate the positive focus on positive topics and steer clear of negative or controversial subjects. This creates a pleasant and uplifting conversation atmosphere. Try this. During a lunch break, rather than complaining about a difficult project, talk about a recent achievement or a fun plan you have for the weekend. Positive energy is contagious. 23. The latest news. Don't leave home without it. Stay updated on current events and popular topics. This gives you a pool of interesting subjects to bring up in conversations. For example, at a family gathering, you mention a recent scientific discovery you read about. This sparks a fascinating conversation about the implications and future possibilities. Part 3. How to talk like a VIP. Now that you've mastered the art of keeping conversations going, it's time to take things up a notch. In Part 3 of How to Talk to Anyone by Leil Lowndes, you'll learn how to talk like a VIP, someone who commands respect and makes a lasting impression. These techniques, from 24 to 37, will help you engage in more meaningful conversations and leave a lasting impact. 24. The exclusive smile. A smile can be a powerful tool, but the key is to make it seem exclusive. Instead of giving everyone the same broad grin, save your most genuine, warm smile for specific moments. This makes the recipient feel special and valued. For example, You're at a networking event. Instead of constantly smiling at everyone, reserve a warm, genuine smile for when you're introduced to someone important. This makes them feel like you're genuinely pleased to meet them. 25. The big baby pivot. When someone calls your name, pivot your body entirely towards them and give them your full attention. This makes the person feel valued and respected. For instance, at a party, someone calls out your name. Instead of just turning your head, pivot your whole body towards them, showing that they have your complete attention and interest. 26. Hello, old friend. Greet new acquaintances with the same enthusiasm and warmth you'd show to an old friend. This creates an instant connection and puts the other person at ease. Example: imagine you're meeting a client for the first time. Approach them with a big smile and a warm greeting, saying something like, "It's so great to finally meet you." This helps to break the ice and build rapport quickly. 27. Limit the fidget. Avoid fidgeting during conversations. Keeping your movements calm and controlled makes you appear more composed and confident. For example, during a meeting, resist the urge to tap your pen or shuffle papers. Instead, keep your hands still and focus on maintaining a calm demeanor. This helps you come across as more professional and attentive. 28. Hans's horse sense. This technique involves observing the behavior and body language of others to understand their unspoken thoughts and feelings. By tuning into these subtle cues, you can better navigate social interactions. For instance, at a family gathering, notice how different family members interact. If someone seems withdrawn, approach them with a gentle conversation starter. This shows you are attentive and empathetic to others' emotions. 29. Watch the scene before you make the scene. Before diving into a social situation, take a moment to observe the dynamics and adjust your approach accordingly. This helps you to blend in more seamlessly and make a better impression. For example, arrive at a party a bit early and watch how people interact. Notice who the key players are and how people are grouped. When you join the conversation, you'll have a better understanding of how to engage effectively. 30. Make them feel special. One way to make a lasting impression is to make the other person feel special. Compliment them genuinely and show sincere interest in what they have to say. Example: when you meet someone, say something like, "I've heard so much about your work, and I'm really impressed by what you've accomplished." This makes them feel valued and respected. 31. Eyeball selling. When you want to convince someone of something, look them straight in the eyes. This conveys confidence and sincerity, making it more likely that they'll trust you. For instance, during a business pitch, maintain strong eye contact with your audience. This shows that you believe in what you're saying and helps to build trust. 32. The sneaky peek. Subtly glance at the person's hands or face during the conversation. This makes you seem more interested and engaged in what they're saying. For example, when someone is explaining something to you, glance at their hands as they gesture or their face as they express emotions. This makes you appear more attentive and involved in the conversation. 33. The human magnet. To become a human magnet, you need to draw people towards you with your charisma and presence. This involves being genuinely interested in others and making them feel important. For example, at a social event, actively listen to what others are saying, ask thoughtful questions, and show genuine interest in their responses. This makes you more likable and magnetic. 34. Talking gestures. Use hand gestures to emphasize your points during a conversation. This makes you appear more dynamic and engaging. For instance, while explaining a concept, use your hands to illustrate your points. This not only helps to convey your message more clearly, but also makes you appear more animated and interesting. 35. The great scorecard in the sky. Imagine there's a scorecard in the sky that tracks your interactions with others. Strive to always leave people feeling better than before they met you. Example: after every interaction, ask yourself if you've made the person feel valued and appreciated. If not, think about what you can do differently next time to improve their experience. 36. The swiveling spotlight. Turn the spotlight onto the other person by asking open-ended questions and showing genuine interest in their answers. This makes them feel valued and important. Example: instead of just asking, "How are you?" ask, "What exciting projects are you working on these days?" This encourages them to share more and feel appreciated. 37. Parroting. Repeat a few key words from the other person's last sentence. This shows you're listening and encourages them to elaborate on their thoughts. Example: if someone says, "I recently started learning Spanish," you could respond with, "Learning Spanish? That's great. How are you finding it so far?" This invites them to share more about their experience. Part 4. How to be an insider in any crowd. All right, you've got the basics down, and you're starting to master the art of conversation. Now it's time to dive into the next level, becoming an insider in any crowd. In Part 4 of How to Talk to Anyone by Leil Lowndes, you'll learn techniques 38 through 43. These strategies will help you blend in seamlessly, make people feel comfortable, and become part of the group quickly. 38. Scramble therapy. When you meet new people, try to talk about various topics to find common ground. This approach, called scramble therapy, helps you discover shared interests quickly, making it easier to connect and engage. For example, when you meet someone at a party, start by talking about general topics like the event, then quickly move on to hobbies, work, or current events. If they mention they love hiking and so do you, dive into that topic to build a connection. Real-life example. At a networking event, you start by asking, "How do you know the host?" If they mention a shared interest in technology, you can segue into a discussion about recent tech trends or gadgets. This not only keeps the conversation flowing, but also helps you find common ground quickly, making the interaction more engaging and enjoyable for both of you. 39. Learn their secret language. Every group has its own jargon, inside jokes, or specific ways of communicating. Pay attention to the words and phrases they use and try to incorporate them into your conversation. This makes you seem like an insider and helps you blend in more smoothly. For example, if you're joining a new team at work, listen to the acronyms and industry-specific terms they use. Start using these terms appropriately in your conversations to show you're part of the group. Real-life example. You're at a friend's barbecue and notice they often reference a local sports team with specific nicknames. By the end of the evening, you mention the team using the same nicknames, showing you've picked up on their secret language and are now part of the crowd. This can help break the ice and foster a sense of camaraderie. 40. Eyeball selling. To really connect with someone, especially when trying to persuade or sell an idea, maintain strong eye contact. This conveys confidence and sincerity, making your message more compelling. For example, if you're pitching an idea to your boss, maintain steady eye contact to show your confidence in the proposal. This makes them more likely to trust your judgment and consider your idea seriously. Real-life example. During a sales presentation, you maintain eye contact with your potential client. This ensures they feel your conviction and passion for the product, which increases your chances of closing the deal. By looking them in the eyes, you project honesty and reliability, making them more likely to believe in what you're offering. 41. Prosaic with passion. Even mundane topics can be interesting if you speak about them with passion. Your enthusiasm can make the conversation lively and engaging. For example, instead of just talking about the weather, say something like, "I love how the rain makes everything smell so fresh and clean. It's like nature's way of hitting the refresh button." Your passion makes even the simplest topic exciting. Real-life example. At a dinner party, when the topic turns to traffic, don't just complain. Share a funny story about the time you got lost and discovered a hidden gem in the city. Your enthusiasm will keep everyone entertained and engaged, transforming a dull subject into an enjoyable conversation. 42. The exclusive smile. A smile can be a powerful tool, but the key is to make it seem exclusive. Instead of giving everyone the same broad grin, save your most genuine, warm smile for specific moments. This makes the recipient feel special and valued. For example, you're at a networking event. Instead of constantly smiling at everyone, reserve a warm, genuine smile for when you're introduced to someone important. This makes them feel like you're genuinely pleased to meet them. Real-life example. At a work function, when you're introduced to the CEO, give a big, warm smile that shows you're genuinely happy to meet them. This makes a strong impression and helps you stand out. It communicates that you recognize their importance and are genuinely interested in connecting with them. 43.
The great scorecard in the sky. Imagine there's a scorecard in the sky that tracks your interactions with others. Strive to always leave people feeling better than before they met you. This mindset encourages you to be kind, attentive, and positive in every interaction. For example, after every interaction, ask yourself if you've made the person feel valued and appreciated. If not, think about what you can do differently next time to improve their experience. Real-life example. After a conversation with a colleague, you reflect on whether they felt heard and valued. If you feel you could have done better, you make a mental note to ask more about their opinions and feelings next time. This continuous self-reflection helps you improve your social skills and make more meaningful connections.
Part 5. Why we're just alike. We're like peas in a pod. Have you ever been chatting with a new acquaintance and thought, this person and I think alike, we're on the same wavelength? It's a fantastic feeling, almost like falling in love. Lovers call it chemistry. New friends talk about instant rapport, and business people refer to it as a meeting of minds. It's that magical moment of warmth and closeness, that sensation of, wow, we were old friends at once. When we were children, making friends was easier. Most of the kids we met grew up in the same town, so they were on our wavelength. As we grew older, moved away, and our backgrounds, experiences, goals, and lifestyles became diverse, we fell off each other's wavelengths. Wouldn't it be great to have a magic surfboard to help you hop right back on everybody's wavelength whenever you wanted? Here it is, a linguistic device that gets you riding on high rapport with everyone you meet. If you stand on a mountain cliff and shout hello-o across the valley, your identical hello-o thunders back at you. I call the technique echoing because, like the mountain, you echo your conversation partner's precise words. 44. Be a copycat. One of the easiest ways to make someone feel comfortable with you is to subtly mirror their actions, speech patterns, and body language. This technique, often referred to as mirroring or matching, helps to create an unconscious bond. For example, if someone leans in when they talk to you, lean in slightly too. If they use particular phrases or jargon, incorporate those words into your responses. Real-life example. Suppose you're at a job interview. The interviewer is very enthusiastic and uses lots of hand gestures. Mirror their enthusiasm and gestures in a subtle way. This makes them feel more at ease and creates a sense of similarity between you two. 45. Echoing. Echoing involves repeating the last few words of the person's sentence. This shows you are listening and encourages them to continue speaking, making them feel understood and valued. For example, if someone says, I just got back from a trip to Japan, you might respond with, a trip to Japan? That sounds amazing. Tell me more about it. Real-life example. At a party, someone mentions, I've been learning to play the guitar, and you respond, learning to play the guitar? That's fantastic. How long have you been practicing? This technique fosters deeper conversation and connection. 46. Potent imaging. When talking to someone, use vivid imagery to describe your experiences and emotions. This helps to paint a picture in their mind and makes your conversation more memorable. For example, instead of saying, I had a good time at the beach, you could say, the beach was incredible. The sun was setting, painting the sky with brilliant shades of orange and pink, and the waves were gently lapping at the shore. It was like a scene from a movie. Real-life example. While talking about a recent hike, you describe, the trail was challenging but rewarding. At the summit, we were greeted by a breathtaking view of the valley below, with a river winding through it like a shimmering snake. This makes your story more engaging and vivid. 47. Employ empathizers. Use phrases that show empathy and understanding. This helps to create an emotional connection and makes the other person feel heard and appreciated. For example, if someone is talking about a stressful day at work, you could say, that sounds really tough. I can imagine how exhausting it must have been for you. Real-life example. A friend mentions they've been feeling overwhelmed with their studies. You respond, I get that. Balancing so many responsibilities can be really challenging. You're doing a great job handling it all. This shows you care and understand their situation. 48. Anatomically correct empathizers. People often express themselves using metaphors related to their senses. Some may say, I see what you mean, while others might say, I hear you. Match their sensory language to build rapport. For example, if someone says, "I see what you're saying," respond with, "Yes, I see it too." If they say, "I hear you," reply with, "I hear you loud and clear." Real life example. During a business meeting, a colleague says, "I feel like we're not getting anywhere with this project." You respond, "I feel that too. Let's discuss some steps to move forward." This alignment in language fosters a deeper connection. 49. The premature we create the sensation of intimacy with someone, even if you've met just moments before, by using the words we, us, and our. This creates a sense of togetherness and shared purpose. For example, when discussing a potential project with a new team member, say, "We can really make a difference with this initiative." This language makes them feel included and part of the team. Real life example. At a networking event, you're speaking with someone about the conference. Instead of saying, "This conference is interesting," you say, "We're learning a lot from this conference, aren't we?" This small change creates a bond and a sense of unity. 50. Instant history. When you meet a stranger you'd like to make less of a stranger, search for some special moment you shared during your first encounter. Then find a few words that recall the laugh, the warm smile, the good feelings the two of you felt. Now, just like old friends, you have a history together, an instant history. For example, if you both laugh about a funny incident that happened at a seminar, refer to it in future conversations. Remember that hilarious moment at the seminar when the speaker's mic didn't work? Real life example. You meet someone at a workshop and share a joke about the presenter's quirky style. The next time you see them, start the conversation with, "Hey, it's great to see you again. That presenter at the workshop was something else," right? This builds on your shared experience and strengthens your connection. Part 6. The power of praise, the folly of flattery. You've navigated through the world of small talk, first impressions, and building connections. Now let's talk about one of the most potent tools in your social arsenal, praise. But here's the catch. There's a fine line between genuine praise and insincere flattery. In this section, we'll dive into how to give compliments that truly resonate and build meaningful connections. Ready to master the art of praise? Let's get started. 51. Grapevine glory. Want to make your compliments really hit home? Send them through the grapevine. Instead of directly praising someone, let your kind words travel via a mutual friend or colleague. It reduces the chance of seeming like you're buttering them up and makes the compliment feel more genuine and widespread. For example, if you admire a coworker's presentation skills, mention it to a mutual colleague. "I was really impressed by John's presentation. He's got a real knack for engaging the audience." Chances are, this will get back to John and he'll appreciate it even more. Real life example. Suppose you want to praise your boss without seeming like a suck-up. Tell a colleague, "Our boss really nailed that presentation today. Her insights were spot on." The compliment will likely make its way back to her, and she'll know you're spreading her praise sincerely. 52. Carrier pigeon kudos, be a messenger of praise. When you hear someone praising another person, make sure that praise reaches the intended recipient. This not only spreads positivity, but also strengthens your relationship with both parties. For example, if a coworker says, "Mark did a fantastic job on the project," ensure Mark hears about it. Next time you see Mark, casually mention, "Hey, I heard from Sarah that you did an outstanding job on the project." Real life example. During a team meeting, if someone commends another team member's contribution, pass it along. "John, I just wanted to let you know that Lisa was really impressed with your analysis on the last report." This keeps the positive vibes flowing. 53. Implied magnificence. Give compliments indirectly by implying the person's excellence through your actions or other statements. This subtle approach can be very powerful. For example, if someone is known for their punctuality, instead of directly complimenting them, you could say to a group, "I always know meetings will start on time when John is in charge." Real life example. When introducing someone who is highly knowledgeable, say, "I've learned so much from our discussions," which indirectly praises their expertise without making it seem like overt flattery. 54. Accidental adulation. Sneak praise into a secondary part of your conversation. This makes the compliment seem more sincere and less contrived. For example, Tell a colleague, "You're so knowledgeable in contract law, you would have caught that clause immediately, but I missed it." Real life example. At a family gathering, say, "Anyone as fit as you would have zipped right up those steps, but I was out of breath." This indirect compliment makes the recipient feel good without feeling like you're laying it on too thick. 55. The killer compliment. Deliver a compliment that is both personal and specific. This type of praise is memorable and impactful. For example, instead of a generic compliment like, "Nice work," say, "You have a remarkable ability to stay calm under pressure. It's really impressive." Real life example. After a presentation, tell the presenter, "Your ability to explain complex topics so clearly is a real gift. I was captivated by your talk." This makes the praise feel genuine and specific to them. 56. Little strokes. Use small, consistent compliments to build someone's confidence and show appreciation over time. For example, in the office, say, "Great job on that report," or "Your presentation was really clear and engaging." Real life example. To a friend, say, "You always know the right thing to say," or "I love how you can make everyone feel welcome." These little strokes add up to a big boost in confidence over time. 57. The knee-jerk wow. Immediately praise someone right after they've accomplished something. The timing makes the compliment more powerful. For example, if someone just finished a performance or presentation, say, "Wow, that was fantastic," as soon as they're done. Real life example. After a colleague wraps up a successful meeting, quickly say, "That was incredible. You handled everything perfectly." The immediacy of the praise makes it feel more spontaneous and genuine. 58. Boomeranging. Reflect a compliment back to the giver, acknowledging their kind words and subtly returning the praise. For example, if someone says, "I love your shoes," respond with "You." That means a lot coming from someone with such great style. Real life example. When a colleague says, "You did a great job on the project," respond with, "Thanks. I learned a lot from your feedback." This way, you acknowledge their compliment and add value to it by reflecting their kindness. 59. The tombstone game. Give a compliment that touches on a person's legacy or deep sense of self. This is a powerful way to show genuine appreciation and respect. For example, in a heartfelt conversation, say, "Your dedication to your family and your work is truly inspiring. You're leaving a legacy that everyone looks up to." Real life example. To a mentor, say, "The impact you've had on my career and the careers of so many others is remarkable. You've made a lasting difference." This type of praise goes beyond the surface and touches on what really matters to people. Part 7. Direct dial their hearts. You've learned how to make fantastic first impressions, keep conversations going, and even master the art of praise. Now it's time to dive into the final frontier, connecting on a deeper emotional level. In Part 7 of How to Talk to Anyone by Leil Lowndes, we're going to explore techniques 60 through 70, which will help you touch hearts and build genuine, lasting relationships. Ready to connect on a whole new level? Let's get started. 60. Talk to the subconscious. When you want to connect with someone deeply, speak to their subconscious mind by using sensory language that evokes strong imagery and emotions. This makes your message more memorable and impactful. For example, instead of saying, "We need to improve our performance," try, "Imagine the thrill of hitting our targets and celebrating our success together." This paints a vivid picture and engages their emotions. Real life example. In a team meeting, rather than saying, "Let's work harder," you say, "Picture the feeling of pride and achievement when we see our project succeed beyond our wildest dreams." This helps the team visualize success and feel more motivated. 61. The human touch. Physical touch can convey warmth and sincerity, but it must be appropriate and consensual. A well-timed pat on the back, a handshake, or a touch on the arm can make a big difference. For example, a gentle touch on the arm when making a point can reinforce your connection and show empathy. Real-life example. When congratulating a colleague, a firm handshake accompanied by a smile can convey genuine appreciation and camaraderie. Remember, always be mindful of personal boundaries and cultural norms. 62. Call their name. People love hearing their own name. Use their name in conversation to grab their attention and make them feel valued. For example, instead of just saying, "Good job," say, "Good job, Sarah." It feels more personal and direct. Real-life example. During a meeting, say, "That's a great idea, John," rather than just, "That's a great idea." This makes John feel recognized and appreciated. 63. Feed their fame. Acknowledge and appreciate someone's achievements and strengths publicly. This not only boosts their ego, but also strengthens your bond with them. For example, in a team meeting, say, "I want to acknowledge Emma for her outstanding work on the recent project. She really went above and beyond." Real-life example. On social media, give a shout-out to a friend or colleague for their accomplishments. "Congratulations to Tom for winning the Employee of the Month award. Your hard work and dedication are truly inspiring." 64. The subliminal touch. Use subtle body language cues to communicate warmth and openness. This includes nodding, maintaining eye contact, and mirroring their posture. For example, when someone leans in while talking, subtly lean in as well. When they smile, smile back genuinely. Real-life example. During a conversation, if your friend crosses their legs, you might do the same. This mirroring can create a sense of harmony and connection. 65. Echo their words. Repeating key words and phrases that the other person uses shows that you're listening and engaged. This technique, known as echoing, helps build rapport and makes the conversation more fluid. For example, if someone says, "I'm excited about the new project," respond with, "It's great to hear you're excited about the new project. What part are you looking forward to the most?" Real-life example. A friend says, "I've been really stressed about work lately." You respond with, "I'm sorry to hear you've been stressed about work. What's been the biggest challenge?" This shows empathy and keeps the conversation going. 66. The autobiography gambit. People love talking about themselves. Encourage them to share their stories and experiences by showing genuine interest and asking open-ended questions. For example, instead of asking, "Did you have a good weekend?" ask, "What was the highlight of your weekend?" This invites them to share more about their experiences. Real-life example. When meeting someone new, instead of asking, "Where do you work?" ask, "What inspired you to get into your field?" This not only gives them a chance to talk about themselves, but also reveals more about their passions and motivations. 67. The flattery farewell. End conversations on a high note by giving a sincere compliment. This leaves the person feeling good about the interaction and more positively disposed towards you. For example, as you part ways with a colleague, say, "I always enjoy our discussions, Jane. You have such insightful perspectives." Real-life example. After a family gathering, tell your cousin, "I love spending time with you. You always bring so much joy and laughter." This ensures they remember the interaction fondly. 68. Eyeball talk. Maintain eye contact to show confidence and sincerity. This helps establish a deeper connection and makes the other person feel valued. For example, during a one-on-one conversation, maintain eye contact about 60 to 70% of the time. This shows that you're fully present and engaged. Real-life example. In a job interview, maintain steady eye contact with the interviewer while answering questions. This conveys confidence and honesty. 69. The premium compliment. Give compliments that are unique and specific to the person. Generic compliments can feel insincere, but a tailored compliment shows that you've paid attention and genuinely appreciate their qualities. For example, instead of saying, "You're great," say, "I really admire your dedication to your work and how you always stay positive under pressure." Real-life example. Tell a friend, "I'm always impressed by your creativity. The way you come up with unique solutions to problems is truly inspiring." This makes the compliment feel more personal and meaningful. 70. Be a verbal highlighter. Highlight the key points of what someone has said to show you're listening and that you value their input. This technique helps to reinforce their ideas and makes them feel heard. For example, if someone shares a detailed plan, summarize the key points back to them. So, if I understand correctly, you're proposing that we start with a market analysis, followed by a pilot project, and then scale up based on the results. Real-life example. After a friend explains their travel itinerary, you say, "Wow, so you're going to Paris, then Rome, and finally Barcelona. That sounds like an amazing trip." This shows you've been paying attention and appreciate their excitement. Part 8. How to work a party like a politician. Works a room. The politician's 6-point party checklist. Ever wondered how politicians effortlessly work a room and leave a lasting impression? They have a knack for mingling, making connections, and leaving everyone with a positive vibe. In this section, we'll explore the politician's 6-point party checklist, a set of strategies that will help you navigate any social gathering like a pro. Let's dive into techniques 71 through 77 and learn how to work a party like a politician. 71. Munching or mingling. Politicians know that holding food or drink can create a barrier between them and potential contacts. They prefer to eat before arriving at the party so they can focus on mingling. For example, if you're at a networking event, resist the temptation to grab a plate of hors d'oeuvres as soon as you arrive. Instead, keep your hands free to shake hands, exchange business cards, and engage in conversation. Real-life example. At a corporate event, you might see successful networkers holding nothing more than a glass of water, which they can easily set down. This way, they're always ready to greet someone new without the awkwardness of juggling a drink and a snack. 72. Rubberneck the room. When you arrive at a party, take a moment to stand in the doorway and survey the scene. This not only gives you a chance to assess the situation, but also makes you appear confident and in control. For example, pause in the doorway, scan the room slowly, and take in the atmosphere. Look for familiar faces, key players, and interesting groups to join. Real-life example. Imagine walking into a large gala. You stop at the entrance, take a deep breath, and look around. You spot a group of colleagues near the bar and decide to join them. This moment of observation helps you plan your moves and makes you seem deliberate and composed. 73. Be the chooser, not the choosee. Don't wait for others to approach you. Take the initiative to choose whom you want to talk to. This proactive approach helps you take control of your social interactions. For example, if you see someone standing alone or in a small group, walk up and introduce yourself. Don't wait for them to come to you. Real-life example. At a conference, you notice a speaker you admired during a session. Instead of waiting for them to notice you, you approach them after their talk, introduce yourself, and express your appreciation for their insights. This bold move positions you as a confident and proactive networker. 74. Come hither hands. Use open body language to appear more approachable. Keep your hands visible and relaxed rather than crossed or hidden. For example, stand with your hands by your sides or gently gesturing as you speak. This signals that you are open and welcoming. Real-life example. While chatting at a party, keep your hands open and relaxed, perhaps holding a drink at waist level. This nonverbal cue invites others to join the conversation and makes you seem more accessible. 75. Tracking conversations. Keep track of details about the people you meet. This helps you remember names, interests, and topics for future interactions. For example, after meeting someone new, jot down a few notes about them on their business card or in a small notebook. This can include their job, hobbies, or an interesting fact they shared. Real-life example. You meet someone at a networking event who mentions they love hiking. Later, when you follow up with an email, you can reference this shared interest. It was great meeting you at the event. I'd love to hear more about your hiking adventures. 76. The business card dossier. Politicians are masters at following up after events. They collect business cards and make notes about each person they meet. After the event, they review these cards and plan their follow-up strategy. For example, collect business cards during the event and make a quick note about each person on the back of the card. Later, review the cards and decide how and when to follow up. Real-life example. After a networking dinner, you go through the stack of business cards you collected. You note that one contact mentioned a mutual interest in digital marketing. You send them a LinkedIn connection request with a personalized message referencing your conversation. 77. Eyeball selling. Use your eyes to communicate interest and enthusiasm. Make direct eye contact to show you're engaged and paying attention. For example, while listening to someone, maintain eye contact and nod occasionally to show you're following along. This nonverbal communication reinforces your interest in the conversation. Real-life example. During a job interview, you maintain steady eye contact with the interviewer, which conveys confidence and sincerity. When discussing your achievements, you look them in the eyes to emphasize your passion and commitment. Part 9. Little Tricks of Big Winners. The most treacherous glass ceiling of all. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to effortlessly climb the social and professional ladders, while others seem to hit an invisible barrier? This is what we call the glass ceiling, but it's more than just a corporate buzzword. In this part, we'll explore subtle yet powerful techniques that can help you break through these barriers and achieve greater success in your interactions. Let's delve into techniques 78 through 92 and discover the little tricks that big winners use to stay on top. 78. See no bloopers, hear no bloopers. Successful people often ignore minor mistakes made by others, allowing the person to save face and maintain their dignity. By not reacting to small errors, you show maturity and grace. For example, if a colleague makes a minor slip-up during a presentation, resist the urge to point it out. Instead, continue as if nothing happened. Real-life example. During a meeting, someone accidentally spills coffee. Instead of drawing attention to it, you continue the conversation smoothly, helping everyone stay focused on the main agenda. 79. Lend a helping tongue. When someone struggles to find the right words or loses their train of thought, gently help them out. This shows you're supportive and attentive. For example, if a friend is telling a story and forgets a detail, you can say, "You were mentioning that amazing restaurant downtown." Real-life example. At a team meeting, if a colleague stumbles while explaining a point, you might say, "I believe you were talking about the new marketing strategy," right? This not only helps them, but also keeps the discussion on track. 80. Bear the buried YFM. Always highlight what's in it for the other person. YFM, what's in it for me? This principle keeps the focus on their benefits, making your propositions more appealing. For example, when suggesting a new project idea, emphasize how it will benefit your team, such as, "This project could streamline our workflow and save us a lot of time." Real-life example. When proposing a partnership to a potential client, you might say, "This collaboration will provide you with access to our extensive network, which can greatly expand your market reach." 81. Let them savor the favor. When someone does you a favor, allow them to enjoy the feeling of helping you. Don't immediately repay the favor. Instead, express genuine gratitude and acknowledge their kindness. For example, if a colleague stays late to help you finish a project, thank them sincerely and let them bask in their good deed without rushing to repay them right away. Real-life example. After a friend helps you move, you can say, "I really appreciate your help. It made a huge difference," and then plan a nice gesture later on, like treating them to dinner. 82. Tit for, wait, tat. Don't rush to reciprocate immediately after receiving a favor. Give it some time before you repay the gesture. This builds a sense of mutual respect and lasting goodwill. For example, if someone covers for you at work, wait for the right opportunity to return the favor rather than doing it the very next day. Real-life example. After receiving a thoughtful birthday gift, wait until their birthday or another special occasion to give them something equally meaningful, showing that you put thought into it rather than just matching their gesture. 83. Parties are for pratter. Keep your conversations at parties light and engaging. Avoid heavy or controversial topics, focusing instead on fun and interesting small talk. For example, discuss recent movies, travel experiences, or hobbies rather than diving into work-related issues or politics. Real-life example. At a social gathering, you might say, "I recently watched this fantastic documentary about space exploration. Have you seen any good movies lately?" This keeps the mood upbeat and enjoyable. 84. Dinners for dining. When dining with others, especially in a business context, avoid bringing up contentious topics or engaging in tough negotiations. Use the time to build rapport and enjoy each other's company. For example, focus on positive subjects like shared interests, recent accomplishments, or future goals. Real-life example. During a business lunch, you might say, "I'm really excited about the potential of our upcoming project. It's great to collaborate with such a talented team rather than discussing budget cuts or challenges." 85. Chance encounters are for chit-chat. If you run into someone unexpectedly, keep the conversation light and casual. Don't seize the moment to discuss serious matters or business proposals. For example, if you bump into a colleague at a coffee shop, simply enjoy a friendly chat rather than pitching your latest idea. Real life example. You meet your boss in the supermarket. Instead of talking about the upcoming deadline, you say, "Hi, it's nice to see you here. How's your weekend going?" This keeps the interaction pleasant and pressure-free. 86. Empty their tanks. Let others empty their emotional tanks by allowing them to vent or share their feelings without interruption. This shows empathy and understanding. For example, when a friend is upset, listen actively without jumping in with advice or solutions immediately. Real-life example. A colleague is frustrated about a project setback. You let them express their concerns fully before responding with, "I understand how you feel. Let's figure out how we can address this together." 87. Echo the emo. Reflect the emotions of the person you're speaking with to show that you understand and empathize with their feelings. For example, if someone is excited about a new opportunity, match their enthusiasm with your responses. Real-life example. A friend shares great news about a promotion. You respond with, "That's amazing. I'm so happy for you. You've worked really hard for this," mirroring their joy and excitement. 88. My goof, your gain. If you make a mistake, acknowledge it quickly and turn it into a positive opportunity for the other person. For example, if you miss a deadline, offer to do something extra to make up for it, like taking on additional tasks. Real-life example. You accidentally double book meetings. Apologize and say, "I'm really sorry about the mix-up. How about I reschedule and bring coffee to our next meeting to make up for it?" 89. Leave an escape hatch. Always provide a way out of a conversation or commitment for the other person. This shows respect for their time and autonomy. For example, when inviting someone to an event, say, "I'd love for you to join, but no pressure if you have other plans." Real-life example. When asking for a favor, you might say, "If you're busy, I completely understand. Just let me know if there's a time that works better for you." 90. Buttercups for their boss. Compliment someone to their superior or in a setting where their efforts will be publicly recognized. This boosts their esteem and strengthens your relationship. For example, in a team meeting, praise a colleague's work in front of your manager. Real-life example. In an email to your boss, you write, "I wanted to let you know how much I appreciate Sarah's hard work on the recent project. She's been instrumental in its success." 91. Lead the listeners. Take the lead in applauding or acknowledging someone's contributions. This sets a positive tone and encourages others to follow suit. For example, be the first to clap after a presentation or publicly acknowledge a colleague's achievement. Real-life example. At a conference, you start the applause after a speaker's talk, encouraging others to join in and showing your support. 92. The great scorecard in the sky. Always be aware of the unspoken scorecard in social interactions. Balance favors and ensure you're contributing positively to your relationships. For example, if someone has helped you multiple times, look for ways to reciprocate and keep the balance of give and take. Real-life example. A friend has been very supportive during a tough time. You make an effort to be there for them when they need help, ensuring the relationship remains mutually supportive. Congratulations! You've made it through the many techniques and secrets to mastering the art of conversation and building meaningful connections. Remember, these skills are not just about charming others, but about creating genuine, lasting relationships that enrich your life and the lives of those around you. Your journey doesn't end here. Keep practicing these techniques, refining your approach, and learning from every interaction. The more you use these tools, the more natural they will become, and soon you'll find yourself effortlessly navigating social situations with confidence and grace. Think of these techniques as the building blocks of your social toolkit. Use them wisely and thoughtfully, and they will open doors you never imagined possible. Whether in your personal life or professional endeavors, these skills will help you connect with others on a deeper level and achieve your goals. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Here's to your continued success and to making every conversation a meaningful and memorable one. Remember, you have the power to influence, inspire, and connect with anyone you meet. Go out there and make your mark. Cheers to your bright future and endless possibilities.